Hi, my name is Marli Roode. I'm a South African British writer, I guess. I live in Manchester at the moment. My work is very much to do with the ideas of home, of displacement, and more recently of the climate crisis. So my most recent novel, Vital Signs, deals with that head on through the lens of a family going through bereavement. I started writing climate fiction because it is the major sort of crisis facing us today, and I think that, in my opinion, a writer's responsibility is to engage with the present and the future. So for me, writing climate fiction is about trying to explore the ways in which we affect the environment and the environment in turn affects us. And I don't think there's a more important sort of story to tell now. But it's hard to tell in a way that people will actually want to read. So this is, I think, a challenge that faces writers working in this genre, definitely. I decided to set my next work, which is, again, climate fiction, in Prague because Prague is so connected. It's so affected by what's going on around it. There's also the river, there's the forests that surround the city. There's all these ways in which the climate crisis can play out on the city, and already is. But it's also a place that tourists outnumber the locals, and I think that makes it an interesting setting to explore themes of kind of people being less affected by the crisis depending on where they're from. So privilege, entitlement, the ability to kind of ignore what's going on. So tourism is a way of kind of exploring that theme, and Prague is full of tourists. It's been very hot while I've been here, which is, the irony is not lost on me working on climate fiction. All of my friends in the UK are jealous, or as you would say, jealous. But it's actually been quite difficult to work sometimes. Although I grew up in temperatures of more than 30 degrees, it was never muggy the way that it has been here. So it's been an adjustment. There are days where my brain just did not work at all, but luckily there is many lovely swimming pools around the city, which I've been in almost every day, so that's really helped. I'm currently training for a triathlon. It'll be my second. I find training to be really meditative and useful for thinking through my writing, particularly if there are any problems with the plot that I'm trying to work through. Swimming is especially good for that because you can't listen to anything. You can't try and distract yourself with a podcast or music or anything like that. So I find the routine and the silence really, really useful for my writing, and also just for my general mental health, which is also good for my writing. I got interested in doing triathlons because I like all the parts individually. Back in South Africa, I used to swim in the open water, so I'm used to swimming more than a mile in open water. I have a bike at home that I love that's called Angela, so I really enjoy cycling. And then I don't know why, but I enjoy running. I'm not very good at it, I'm not fast, but I've done a few half marathons, and I thought, why not put them all together and see what happens? And it is a weird challenge on your legs when you get off a bike and have to run that first time, but it feels like such an accomplishment, and it's really fun to move from the water to a bike to running. Exhausting, but really fun. For me, writing has always been, maybe this is idealistic to say, but a way to try and change the world. Whether or not that's true of my writing will remain to be seen, but I've always really believed that writing has a responsibility in that way, or there's the opportunity there. So that's apart from doing things like offsetting any travel and recycling and trying to be a better person in the ways that it's possible to be, that feels like the best contribution I can make. I don't know if that's enough, but it's what I'm doing. So I have always, but I've been a vegetarian since 2008 for carbon footprint reasons. That's always been important to me, the environment. Growing up in South Africa, surrounded by all this nature that was disappearing already through poaching and encroachment by people, has always made me like a really keen nature lover. So that's always been really important to me, and therefore, like, why not explore it in fiction? Like, I really have to. So that's how climate fiction sort of became something that I now feel like compelled to do. To future residents, if you come in the summer, bring your swimming costume. Also bring a fan, you will need it. And maybe some earplugs, because the center of town gets quite busy at night. But you'll be right in the middle of all the culture, so it'll be amazing to walk around in and see every day. It's something that will never get old, coming out of the door of the apartment and seeing just like all of this amazing old stuff, beautiful stuff around you. It'll never get old.